So basically, why you are trying to learn ab initio, right? So the first question is why you need to learn ab initio. That's the first thing. Let me introduce you first. Why we are learning ab initio. I'll tell you what are the benefits and why it is being widely used. That ab initio is the first preference by the client and the rich client as one of the leader in the ETL tool. So why it is so famous, why it is so popular in the ETL? So I'll tell you. First, telling you, I'll take you through before I tell you and take you through that architecture and technical stuff. So I just tell you that where it is being used first. So if you see the where it is the application is used, the application is used not only in data warehouse. If you have a notion like okay, it has a limitation in data warehouse, that's then you have complete wrong notion about that. So it is not only used in data warehouse, it has a wide many application. It is not only, it is starting from the operational system to data warehouse and distributed system to the event management or event processing. When I say the event processing, it includes how to read a message, the swift messages, how to read the queues, how to read the data from the legacy system. Legacy, when I say the legacy, it is the operational system basically. Okay, how it is, operational day to day when you order purchase management or order management you are doing. It is not only limited to that. Okay, when I say the domain, it is it has presence in all over all the domains. It is into the retail system, it is into finance, it is into the insurance, it is into the healthcare, it is into the telecom. These are the widely used domains, and they choose the ab initio as the best solution for them. Okay, and I'll tell you through why it is so famous, because what is architecture, what are the products that ab initio provides. Okay, and uh, why it is ab initio, why not another tool? I'll tell you what is the substantial difference between other difference between the Informatica and the Talent as well as the ab initio. What are the challenges in other tools, wherein in ab initio how easy to make the graph, how simple it is for the user to develop and the debug the graphs. Okay, and as I tell you that the application, the world's the world's largest stock market is using ab initio. World's biggest banks are using ab initio. World's biggest insurance companies, world's biggest telecom companies, the leading telecom companies, they are using ab initio as they are one of the data warehousing solution. Okay, so why this is so? What is there in ab initio that makes a substantial difference? Okay. Before I tell you to jump into ab initio, what is the technical difference between the rest of the tool and architecture? I'll tell you through what is the ab initio and what its products are. The products that is if you see this picture, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so the different types of products that ab initio provides, these are the cooperating system. One is conduct IT, one is BRE, one is continuous flows, and one GD and the ELE. I'll tell you first what is cooperating system. The cooperating system is an environment, okay, which is used for integrating, developing, and designing the graphs. Okay, it manages, this is the heart of ab initio. This is heart of ab initio, and it manages all the products that you have. The product that it is providing, the EME, the conduct IT, the BRE, the business root environment, the continuous flows means whenever we are, I'll tell you what is continuous in brief. What is the continuous flow? Basically, the message, and I believe you might have sort of knowledge on how to read the messages, right? The swift messages, or how to read the queues, to read the messages from the queue. Okay. So continuous flows are the ones which are used widely in the banks to read the messages whenever you swipe, whenever you swipe your cards, okay, in the credit card, that goes to a port, and whenever that publisher, we have two components in Abinish, one is publisher and the subscriber. It reads those messages, okay, and it transform, it immediately reads it, as it always pings that port every time, in every second, okay. As soon as the card gets swiped in, it is send a 16-digit messages to that port, and our subscriber, and what will do, it will subscribe that messages, and it will go for send it for processing. So it is running every time 24 into 7 into 360 days, okay. Why that is the reason why we call it as continuous flows. The graph will never stop. There are two types of mode of graphs. One is batch mode, one is the continuous flows. The batch mode, it runs only for a certain time. So you run the graph, as soon as it complete, it will it will run in the next scheduled timing. But continuous flows are the ones which will continue to run 24 into 7 and 365 into days. Okay. So it will not stop until unless you manually stop it manually. Okay. So that's the reason why we call it the continuous graphs. And there is a separate topic. I mean, we have different components for that, the continuous flows. Okay. So what is GD? So GD is the client to develop, to maintain, and to run the graphs. Okay. So I will tell you, the thing is, my GD is not working today because my Citrix server, I have the latest version of this Initio, it's a 3.2 version, and somehow my Citrix receivers got corrupted, so that's the reason I'm not able to access this Citrix server today right now. And yes, that's the reason. So what is GD? GD basically, it allows the user, it is a client. It's a client which allows the user to develop the graphs, to maintain their graphs, and to run that graphs. Okay. Not necessary you can run the graphs every time through GD. You can run the graphs in the background, but it is necessary to develop the graphs. Whenever you want to develop something in graphs, then you always have to go for the GD. The GD means the graphical development environment. So it's an environment where you have, there are a lot of components on the right hand side. Okay, so I'll tell you on the next topic that how to open it, and these are the different perks of Initio. Okay, I'll tell you through. So whenever you want to develop some graphs or develop some application, it is GD that helps you to do that. Okay. So in the right hand pane of the GD, you can see a lot of. I cannot show you right now because of GD is not working. But when it's worked, I'll show you that it has a list of components. It has many components. It has more than 50 to 70 components. Okay, which helps you to drag and drop and build your application as simple as possible with minimal coding. With minimal coding, you can drag and drop. Okay. And what is EME? So EME is the product that Abhishek provide to maintain the version control. If you are, I know that you guys are very experienced. You might have come across that version controlling tool. Okay, and there are different companies are maintaining different version of versioning tool, but Abhinishu has its own versioning control tool. That's EME, the Enterprise Metadata Environment. So what it does basically, it is not only maintaining the version of each version of the code, and it is not only maintaining who was the user checking in and the checking out the code from EME. It provides a wider view, okay, to many people, provides the wider view to the support team. It gives the wider view, it gives the wider to the to the management. So how it is resolving that EME, okay? It has two parts, okay? The EME that GDE always linked to the EME every time. These are the three things that you always come across. As a normal developer, you may not have access to the continuous flow. to, BRE. So the BRE stands for Business Root Environment, but it is always necessary in a suppose in the corporate world. Is always necessary. You are always will be always dealing with this four tool minimum. Okay, the conduct ID and come across. So what is EME basically? It is not only a version controlling tool. It provides many ideas. Okay, so when I say the many information that it provides, what are all the information? It provides a web information. Okay, if you go to a Application Corporation link, they will provide you a link. In that link, you can view actually which subs are running in production. As a developer, you may not have access to production. Okay, but what you can do, suppose a job gets failed in the production and which particular point it has failed, it gives you every information in the EME. In the web EME, it has two parts. One, you can access it EME from the backend, and it has a front end as well. That is called the web EME. On the web, you can see that what are the jobs you are running, how much CPU time each component has taken, and in the business, it has, if suppose your business has access to EME, the business people can apply some different tools. So as I say that whenever you develop some graph here, you have to develop the graphs here and you have to check in the code here. So that is why it is called the versioning control. You have to, it is a two-way bidirectional nature. You have to check out the code and check in the code using EME. And these are all interconnected. There is a file called Initio file. And through Initio file, they are all interconnected. So this one, all are interconnected. And everything is controlled by this operating system. This is the system. It manages everything. All the products are managed through operating system. So cooperating system, I'll tell you more about this cooperating system, how intelligent it is, how intuitive it is. But I just wanted to give you some brief idea about each product of Initio. Then we can more drill down on the cooperating system. You have to discover why it is the, when you say Initio, it is only cooperating system that do everything. And these are all the products. So actual work is done by the cooperating system. So when I say that you are checking in and checking out the code from the EME to GDE, so that means it stores all the information here itself about your application, how many applications are there. It contains everything. Okay. So it is not only version control; it provides all the information. Okay. So one information is a view to the business. How it is giving the views to the business is like, a graph may have, just to tell you this graph. So this graph it has an input, it has output, it has aggregate function, it has reformat component, it has output file. But when you run it, it has DML present here. It has the input DML, it has output DML. I'll tell you just because you'll not get it out whenever I'll have a GD installed. I mean that settings is installed. I'll show you that. But right now I just show you that figure. That okay. So whenever you are checking in the code, it will have everything in the EME. The EME stores. If you go into the EME, and once everything is captured in EME, the business people, what they will do, they can run their own business. They can apply their own rules there. So the business, the analysts, they can keep and do some R&D on the EME directly based on there is a tool called the BRE, the business root environment, and they keep on applying the rules. Okay, I can show you. This is the rules that you can see. You can see this rule in the business environment. It is specifically only not for the developer. It is only for the business people. The business people can have access to the this tool and they can apply the business. They can try the different tools and they just want to see what is the outcome, what is the impact, of this field. Suppose there is a risk field. Suppose you are working in a in a let's say a risk reporting project. So what will happen if a particular field value will go increase? There is an impact, and the regulator has to be fined, and they have to be penalized. In that case, also you can see it is the second option. The first option is it gives a wider view to the business. Second thing is as a complete application. Okay, so it might take the input. Okay, let's say you know let's say it will have an input. It will have an input. It will have an sorry. It will have an output. Copy paste. It will have an output. You have the Ab Initio stands here. This is the reporting tool, and this is the the files that you are receiving, the files from different sources. Okay, the it is you are taking some input data from here, storing here, and you are loading the database. Uh, you know, After filtering it, cleaning the data, bringing into standard format, you store the data, and this is the reporting tool. Let's say. Uh, uh, Reporting input, and it is your Ab Initio. So what will happen? Suppose there are 10 fields are coming, you are dropping it here, you are carrying only 5 fields to the reporting, and tomorrow suppose some analyst want to see that how this field is getting derived starting from the source. So Ab Initio provides that entire view in EME. In EME, it provides you that entire view starting from the beginning till the time it is in the reporting. How each field is getting derived in each page. Once you get the access to web EME, then you can see what is the value in the input file, what is the enrichment that you have done in Ab Initio, and what is the reporting that field is coming in. It provides you the end-to-end flow for each particular field. Okay, but it is not available in any other tool. That you have to go and check manually. Then all you have to backtrack the things. Then you will be able to know, okay, how this field is getting retrieved, how this field is getting populated or derived. But Ab Initio EME provides it's everything. Just have to click away. Just have to click it. It provides the direction. That is how this field is getting derived, which logic, what the logic is implemented. It provides everything. Okay, it is not only do that, it also do the administrative task. So administrative task, when I say administrative task, what it does basically. So as you know, we are working in a development, like what is the life cycle of development life cycle? Just to develop the code, okay, and then once your job is done, you have to migrate this code to the uh, production. Okay, so what are the phase that we do? So I'll tell you. So for each area, basically, so everywhere you will see these 2 pages. Okay, minimum it will come at least 3 pages in life in your software life cycle. One is the development. Let me show you this. Development. The test environment, then the production environment. So what will happen? There are 3 pages in whenever you are developing any Ab Initio or any. This is the common in any area, right? Whether it is you are developing application in Java, you are developing in C++. They are the three pages you have to come across. So what the ab initio does basically. So what EME, another thing of administrative task, how it is helping the administrator to migrate the code from one environment to another environment. Once the ab initio, the developer checking the code into EME, so there are always two things, it's called the dev EME. So there are test EME and these are the EME. So each sandbox, so developer have to check in the code into EME. There are each sandbox has to be connected. I'll tell you what is sandbox technical things. Once you develop the code here, you have to check in the code to dev EME. Once the code has been checked in and your timelines, the development, the time has been made, there is administrative team who will migrate the code. They will create a tag basically. They will create a tag. They will create a save file, and they migrate the same thing to the test EME, where the tester can, they will check out the code. Okay. They will check out the code here, and they start doing the testing here. All you have to do is you have to check in the code here. Once the code has been checked into the development EME, the code will be migrated to the test EME by the administrative, whoever the admin from in your team, he will migrate the code to here. Once the code is migrated to the dev EME, the enterprise metadata environment, the tester will download that. When I say download, they will check out the code from dev EME to their sandbox and they'll run it. And if everything goes fine, then what they will do, the administration, that they will migrate this tag and the save file in technical terms. In the terminology that I'm training used to do that, the tag and the save file, these are called the ab initio terminology. And this, nothing the tag and the save, nothing but it's a package to create a code. It contains all the code basically. So this package will move from here to here. And once everything goes fine, the tester, they are okay with the testing and they don't find any issues, the admin team will migrate this code to here, the dev EME. Once the code is migrated to the dev EME, now that they will check out the code, the responsible team, whoever the owner of that production system, okay, or the administrative part, they will check out the code from dev EME to their ab initio sandbox or ab initio production environment where the code will run. And this is another task of the EME. It is not only providing the business view or how the field is getting derived, a version control, it also helps in migrating the code, okay, separating data, everything. And what is conduct ID basically? Conduct ID has two parts, okay. Suppose you have 10 graphs, okay. To schedule a job, suppose you have 10 graphs and you have to run them in a dependency. Let's say you have one job, let's say you have A, job, B, and so all are into dependency like you have, okay, and you have another application graph. The graph is in and another. When I say the a combination coding is called as a graph. You have to develop one particular. You have to combine the component input file, output file. Once you achieve the output as a input, then you have to save it. Once it goes and saved it is called as graph. And suppose you have multiple graphs and there is a dependency that B should run after A, and this can be achieved using the conduct ID. The conduct ID maintains that dependency that at what particular time the each graph should run, and what will be the order of running the graphs. Suppose you want to say the graph B A should run after completion of B, then you can maintain that dependency in between these two using the conduct ID. Okay. It has two parts. It has another part is called the operational console, and most of the people may not have access to the operational console. The operational console is a front-end tool. Okay, and we have to maintain that dependency. One more information: we have to maintain this dependency using GDE. That GDE contains two things. You can and the graphs that you develop here, that is called the plans, and the things that you develop here in GDE. GDE can develop two parts. One is graphs and is the plan. So conduct ID, whenever you are doing something, that is called the plan, and whenever you are developing a graph or making some code, that is called the graphs. Okay, so conduct ID is just helping independent, maintaining that dependency between the graphs. It has another part called the operational console. It is a front end basically, which it will give the user, it allows the user to monitor the jobs in the front end, that what are the jobs are currently running, at what particular time each job is scheduled, it will become red, green, or amber based on the criteria. And if suppose certain job is not running, the color will become different. That it is waiting to resolve that dependency because of which it's not running so far. So these are the basic difference that basic short details about each products. So guys, do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So coming to the cooperating system. So what is the cooperating system? How it is different? Okay. So what are the different how it is different? What are the unique about this Initio? It is what's like Hadoop. So as you know that Hadoop is a master tool, and it is very demanding right now, and everybody is talking about Hadoop. So what is the architecture behind this Hadoop and the Initio? I would say it is almost same. Okay. So in Hadoop file system, we have a environment. Okay. In Ab Initio, we have environment to the MFS. I'll tell you that graph, then only you understand. Okay. So you can see these are the file system basically. One file system, this one file system, two file systems. So in Hadoop, we have different file system called the Hadoop file system, and in analogous to Hadoop, in Ab Initio, we have a file system called the multi-file system, that is called the MFS, which helps us to process the data parallelly. Okay, we have three types of parallelism here. One is data parallelism, one is pipeline parallelism, one is the component parallelism. So how is made any other technology? What is the best thing that we have in Initio? That it's parallel processing. How? So I'll tell you. So what the difference between? So it has a master table. So I may not have that with you maybe. Okay. So I'll tell you something. So let's say we have a master table. Here it is somewhere all my codes, everything is installed here. And what will happen? Let's say I have a 4 multi-file system. when I say multi-file system, whenever you are running any job, so everything will run in parallel. Suppose I have a 1 million record and I'm running that in a serial agency, Java, everything is happening in serial mode. It may take, an hour to read that file. But in Ab Initio, it may hardly take 10 to 15 minutes of time to read that file. How? So it has a parallel processing, it has a multi-file system, the MFS. So what it does basically, once you read that file, there are some partitioning component in the Ab Initio. Okay, that partitioning component, it will split the data it is up to you that how many ways that multi-file system can be configured. One can configure the multi-file system, two-way multi-file system, four-way multi-file system, and the eight-way multi-file system, based on the type of data that you are receiving. Let's say I have a huge number of data that is in a serial file. So it is necessary that you have to make based on your business functionality or that how much time the jobs are taking. So based on that, you have to take a call on that whether you have to go for a 4-way multi-file system or 8-way multi-file system or a 16-way multi-file system. That you used to receive on a day-to-day basis. So this is the reason that how it is, there are certain how it is helping that, how it is more substantial different from the different tool the issue is. This makes a most substantial difference, the multi-file system. One process, you don't do anything, right? You just have to just put a component, okay? Just have to put a component here. So how does it working? I'll tell you the architecture, okay, how it is working. But this is the parallel processing in Ab Initio. You cannot find it in Informatica, you cannot find it in Talent, but you can find it in, you cannot find it in Informatica, the parallel processing, you cannot find it in DataStage, but you can find it in Ab Initio, and there is a way to find it to achieve this in using Talent. I am using, Talent is being used in a project as well, not for the complex processing, it is for the multi-file system. To create a multi-file system, it is just a click away in Ab Initio. You just have to put and drag and pull, drag and drop that component. That it is just to make a multi-file system in two ways. I mean, just a 5 minutes and the 10 minutes of time. But to create a it is a bottleneck task. You really have to suppose you are not good at Java or you are not good at coding a part, then you will definitely struggle to create a multi-file system in Talent. But in Ab Initio, creating multi-file system as simple as it is very simple. I mean, just a fraction of second, just drag and drop, everything will be sorted out. Okay. So let me check whether my syntax is working or not. I will show you. Okay. So here is the best examples to show you. Let's say we have a file system, 4-way multi-file system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-way multi-file system. One, this is the master. Okay. Consider this is the master file. This master file will be split across this 4-way multi-file system. Okay. This one is one source system, one system is considered. This is not exact difference, but one data will go to here, one data will go to here, one data will go to here, and data will go to here. Okay. This is a 4-way multi-file system. This is an example. Okay. That how does it does? So I'll tell you. Okay. It is not only it is the Ab Initio can work on a single CPU. It can work on the multiple CPU. I was discussing that what are the advantages. I didn't come across into the technical exactly. Okay. When I jump into technically, then I'll definitely cover each and every part. I just telling you that what are the main advantage of ab initio. One is that debugging is much easier. The parallelism concept makes it unique. And the resume that I told you, suppose you want to resume certain jobs at particular time where it has failed from last time, there you want to run it, it is more easier. And the log file and the error file, that is most important. Whenever you are developing some graph basically, you must come across that it is very necessary to maintain that log or audit file or the the tracking file, how the each data is processing. But guys, understand everything that whenever you are developing anything, the log files and error files are automatically created by default. Okay, suppose you are trying to load some data into the database, how many records are getting loaded, how many default. Suppose you want to read that log file and automatically I'll tell you how to read a log file, but it gives you everything. It's not necessary that you just suppose you are specifically maintaining a log file that okay how my processing is processing, but in process running more than an hour, you really don't know that which process it, but having issue will in which process it is running. It maintains it creates the log file, error file, everything by default. If you enhance your code, you want to generate a report, I'll tell you how, but by default it created. Okay? These are many advantages. I'll describe you. I mean, what are the main advantages of using ab initio? I mean, you can build a graph, okay, and nobody can beat ab initio in terms of performance, okay. What are the? I'll tell you. I mean, since we have very less time, I'll tell you what is cooperating system advantages, okay. That is more important. So, what are the cooperating system advantages? Is like, okay, it can, okay, you can not only read the file from the legacy system. Let me explain you, okay. Let's say you have a legacy file system. You have a legacy file system. Let's say mainframe. You have a mem system. You have uh, when I say the event, you know, read from the web data. You can read the data from the traditional DBMS. DBMS, traditional DBMS database. You can all combine as per your requirement. You can put the, you have a component called the reformat in ab initio reformat. So you can connect everything to your, you can at a time, it will not, it keeps you, you have, third party tool. Let's say you have a SaaS program here, SaaS or Salesforce. In my current project, I am using the Salesforce, okay. So it has built-in program to read the, built-in program like, the Teradata, Teradata, Oracle, or SQL. You can easily connect. It has its inbuilt a component to read the files. At the same time, it can read. You cannot find this advantage in other tool that except talent you cannot find this. So guys, just flag me in case I'm just misleading you or somebody not aware of it. ab initio is the only tool that allows you to read the data from the legacy system, that the mainframe or the COBOL, the COBOL mainframe is the most of them is most of the companies are maintaining the legacy system on mainframe. So you can read the data directly into mainframe in ab initio using its native code. Ab initio does not convert into anything. Whatever the data that is present in mainframe, using it, there is a command called the COBOL to DML. Using that command, it will convert the data into DML. Then you can read this COBOL file. It's read the COBOL copybook file, guys. So, and using its native format it doesn't force anything that it is not here, then you have to convert like this. No. Whatever the data is present, bit by bit, whatever the data present in mainframe, it reads as it is without converting it to any format, as it is. Okay. And second thing, it reads the data from the web services. When I say the web services, it is SAP, it is Salesforce, it is any APIs that internet-based services. Internet-based services, you want to pull the data. You can pull the data in this, it has a call web services component, call web services component, CWS. Using this call web services component, you can hit and pull the data from any internet-based resources. And what is the WMS? It is very simple. You can pull the data, load the data into Oracle, Teradata, and the SQL, and many more Postgres, SQL. I mean, it has built-in component that it is not limited to that. It has some third-party tool. When I say the third-party tool, it is maintained. It has built-in component, to retrieve the data. These are called the third-party tool, which are maintained by different things. You don't have to install them, locally. Okay, so it is one of the, Salesforce is one of the internet-based resources. We are pulling the data using the call web services. Okay, so one is the SaaS also. In my previous organization, we are pulling, reading the data in SaaS. We are pulling the data and writing the data into SaaS. In previous organization, I was able to read the data. We are getting the data from the mainframe system. Okay, so we are storing them again back in Teradata. So these are all the things. It does not constrain anything. That is the most advantage in Initio, guys. You can read any file in any format. Any source files you want to read, you can read the SaaS, SaaS source file. So SaaS is not basically, if you have any idea, so I'm just giving you that the files that it has a .SAS or extension is .SAS or something. It's just a file. Even though it will work as a database, you can query the SAS table. But the files it will have, it has two file, index file and the this file. You can read that file easily. Mainframe file easily read. These are doesn't constrain. It can read any number of files. It's only possible that only in Initio. Okay. And the second thing. This is the advantage of cooperating system. How the cooperating system, it has extensively carrying a lot of libraries. It has extensive contains lot of the library contains a lot of extensive component. Yep.
Hey Henry, this is Raghu here. Sorry to interrupt you. So regarding this Teradata and other, databases, do we have any compatible load utilities? Because in Informatica we use TPT, Teradata, parallel transporter. So
exactly. We have TPT concept. We have multi-file system, and we have it has everything apart from the multi-load, fast load, and the tip-up load. We have the parallel transport concept in Initio, and it has a parameter there. Just have to in the drop down, just have to put that condition. So using that concept, using that option, it will try to load the data into the parallel transporting concept. Yeah.
Okay. And while using these any of the files like COBOL files and so can we define the code page? Because I think that's what we were trying to do when migrating from Informatica Ignition, and we were not able to find the code page setting in Ignition.
No, exactly. While reading the data, okay, it directly cannot read this COBOL copybook, right? COBOL data. So what we have to do, we have to talk to that mainframe guys to provide a COBOL copybook file. Basically, it contains the definition of the data, right? I understand you have an idea about the COBOL copybook.
Yeah.
Just have to, once you get that COBOL copybook, what you have to run a simple command. One is COBOL.
Because see, COBOL copybook I got it, but in some of the files we are expected to receive multi-byte characters. So
Okay.
the setting we use is UTF-8 in the Informatica. So
Right.
so we are not sure where exactly we can define these kind of settings in ab initio, because we
Uh,
should be able to read the multi-byte, characters in an ASCII file or
so you mean to say where you have to define the UTF-8 character in
Mhm.
ab initio? So it is there in
Yeah.
the DML actually. Yeah. So whenever writing
Okay.
any, okay. So basically, whenever you are writing anything, you just have to put UTF-8. Okay. Then let's say it's a string format, string of delimiter by pen. I mean, these are the I think
DML.
the fixed
Okay.
DML, right? The fixed DML, it
Okay.
contains 1,000 or something, right? It's in Cobol copy book. So let's say the first field is P1. So like this, you have to uh, uh, F1, right? So like this, you have to define it. Just have to maintain the UTF-8 at the initial uh, thing before writing the this data type. Before that, you just have to write the UTF-8 character.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Before that
So
field, okay, in front of that field, we need
yeah, in
to.
front of that field, prefix that is fixed and space in the type. For decimal, you don't have to mention the UTF-8. Okay. It's the only string field that you have to mention the UTF-8 character.
So whatever the code page, we can define if it is UTF-16 or
Exactly.
ASCII.
UTF-16. Yeah. UTF-16. For UTF-16, that actually it's Unicode. For UTF-16, in ab initio provides a
Oh, it's
Unicode.
Unicode. Okay.
You can use the Unicode instead of using the UTF-16. You can use it, but I usually maintain the Unicode instead of using the UTF-16. I'll show you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, I have
Yeah.
that. So,
Thank you.
okay, yeah. So here stop. So guys, you got some basic idea that it is the core is so intelligent that it can read any files from any format from any resources. Okay. Second thing. So what is the second thing that makes the process more faster? Second thing is uh, uh, shared nothing architecture. Shared nothing architecture. Sorry, sorry for my spelling mistake. Okay. So what is the shared nothing architecture? Basically, what ab initio use this architecture whenever it will help the CPUs to process the each file. When I say the there are two, let's say two file system. Uh, uh, to show that as well. Okay, so shared nothing. Let's say it is my CPU one, CPU two. So what is the shared nothing architecture? What the issue says that whenever we are processing something, the CPUs will whatever the task the CPU does, it is totally independent of other tasks. Okay, when I use the multi-file system, one partition, say CPU1 taken care by the partition 1. Let's say it is a two-way partition, consider this is two-way partition, and this is partition 2. So what will happen, this CPU, and you have a serial file, sorry, it is not, oh sorry, God. Okay. So this is not, so I will, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So let's say we have a multi-files, we have a source file basically, it contains let's say uh, 4 records, okay. Let's say it contains 4 records, so you have used a component, okay, called the round robin component to split the data round robin component, okay. So what will happen, well, as soon as the data will get read, the data will split into this partition and this partition. Let's say we have a two-way CPU system, two-way partitions and we don't have a quadra-core CPU system. Just let's consider that we have the system that we have, it has two CPUs. So what will happen? So each partition contains now, let's say it has 4 records, the 2 data will go to here and the 2 data will go to here. Okay? And these CPUs will not share anything, and there will be no sharing of knowledge, so no sharing of the data in between two CPUs. Each CPU will take this partition entirely. That's the reason why it is so faster. The one single CPU, so how many CPUs that you have, based on that your partitioning component also decides that each CPU will run independently of other CPUs. No matter how node it is overloaded, they will not share anything. The node will not be shared. The data will not be shared. Only one CPU, that particular CPU who has taken the responsibility during the runtime to decide whatever the partition is taken care to process it, and in that process contain multiple components. There are let's say in one partition contains the entire, let's say I'm making this entire thing, these two entire things into running into multiple partition. So this will continue to run in a multiple ways by different CPUs. It will not share data. This data will not go to here, or when it is overloaded, this will not share anything. So shared nothing architecture means that each CPU will run independent of other CPU. So it is directly proportional to the performance that you will get. It is directly proportional to the number of CPUs that you have and the number of systems that you have. If you have the number of CPUs are more, then the performance will be more. This is called the shared nothing architecture. The CPUs will run independently of other CPUs when you are running that in a partitioning, partitioning component. Suppose you are allowed multiple. Okay, so that is called the shared nothing architecture. So I'll tell you one more thing, that what is the another best thing in Ab initio. Let's say you want to run this entire thing. Okay, so let me show you, otherwise you will not understand. Suppose this entire thing, entire thing up to here. Let's say I don't have the this thing now. So what I'll do, I'll assign this. Okay, up to here we want to run it in a system called Windows 10. Sorry, it's Linux, and these two process. This is the another advantage of cooperating system, that these two systems we want to run in a different, suppose we want to run in Linux, we want to run these two thing in a mainframe or whatever it is, system, that is IDFAIX, and this thing we want to run in Solaris, okay, or mainframe. Okay, these two. Okay, so suppose the one of the good example of the good capability of cooperating system. Independent of, it is distributed. The component has been distributed to allow to run in different systems. It is not dependent on only one single server. It can be split on the multiple machines. This you cannot see any, I don't know, but I don't think that this can be done in any technology like this Ab initio, except Ab initio. there is a way how to run this in a different, I'll tell you how to run this in a different server, and this is a different server. This is, you see, this is one complete graph, but they are running into different systems. So, guys, any question on this, or you got me?
So do we need to install co-ops on all those 3 servers?
Exactly. The cooperating system must be installed, otherwise it will not be recognized. No, it's a application program.
But how do they talk to each other if there are like 3 different co-ops?
Yeah, I'll tell you that actually there is a, they can talk to each other through cooperating system. You have to install, there is a file called ab initio RC file. Just a moment. We have a file called ab initio files. The thing is my English is not working. I will show you. Ab initio RC file. Okay, it contains the node. It contains the 3 of the node details. Node at the rate. Let's say you have alias, right? Let's say it's ABC. Let's say abc.com. Then the user ID, user, user, uh, user1. Then the encrypted password that we have to pass in. Okay, always use this. It's a good practice to always use this alias first. I'll tell you why while I will come to the technical thing. But since I am just telling you that what are the advantages of using ab initio, so the capability of cooperating system. So this is not the right time to confuse you. So you just have to pass the encrypted password here. Okay, there is a way to how to encrypt the password. I'll tell you that. First, this is the missing first. Second missing is like a different thing, and the password is like it will be a ABC. Just put AB, and this is called the IBM Linux server. IBM.com. It's called the Linux.com. Linux.com. Okay. So the password will be different. Each user having the password will be different. User 2 and the user password 2. So by using this, writing this into the ab initio RC file in the .ab initio, it will be the .ab initio RC file will be present in a home directory. Okay. By mentioning this, you can just have to do a suppose you want to see whether the connection is established. So you just have to do ms-ls then www the server name like ibm.com, then the location where file to be created. Okay. By using this m_ls, it will check whether you have to put double slash here to access the server name. Then the location, the file system location you have to put. In this server, in which location you have to check the file, or you have to write the file, you have to read the file. Okay. So by defining this everything into the ab initio RC file, this is a configuration file. It is maintained and controlled by the user. There are 2 ab initio RC files. I'll tell you, I'm not confusing you right now. There are 2 ab initio RC files. One is for the admin perspective, one is for the user perspective. This .ab initio RC file it will explicitly used for the user. Okay, each user write the according to each configuration, you can write, edit everything that file. That is called it is called hidden file since it is starting with dot. Okay, it will do ls-la. ls-la, then it will show you the list that it contains the .ab initio RC file. Okay, so there you can define everything. So this configuration decides that where you want to go and whether the password using this user and password, it will connect to this server. Okay, it will connect to this server whether you have valid user and the password provided in the SAFC file. If it is valid, it will connect. If it is invalid, not connect. Does that answer your query?
But where will we give the components which has to be run in the each?
Yeah, in the layout. Yeah. So yes. So in the each ab initio, I don't have that. When you double click on this component, I'll show you real time exactly tomorrow. There will be 3 tabs. One is data. When you double click on each tab, each component, there will be a tab, and there will be a tab called layout. In that layout, you just have to provide these details. In that layout, just have to provide, these details. Yes, just have to provide these details in the layout. So what will happen? This will create the data into this location. But to access this, you just have to put m-ls. But while writing the data, you just have to mention. You don't have to mention this thing. It is only for your check only whether it is the data is there or not. You can run this command in Unix in the wherever the operating system is installed. So what is m? So it is like all the operating system command equally, everything is equal, almost 90% command equal as Unix, equivalent as Unix except m_ls. Okay, suppose you want to copy some files, or you want to, suppose in Unix you are checking the ls command, right, long listing. But in to long list the file in you are using the m_ls. Okay, suppose you want to copy the file, you just have to copy m_copy command. So all the operating system command, it is as equivalent as the native operating system command except m_. All the ab initio commands, the operating system commands, start with m_. That means it is a ab initio command. If it is only cp, it is a Unix command. Else it is a any command that is starting with m_, that is a operating system command. Okay, so it's just for your benefit only. I just telling you that how to read that file. But in the component, when you want to write the data for a particular server and things, just have to mention this. Everything will be taken care of. Okay, you cannot. So
and the ab initio RC file exists on all the 3 servers, right?
Yes, all the 3 servers will be there.
Okay.
In the testing server, in development server, it is you, each individual that controls it. But in testing team, there will be a team. In that, there will be a one single ID that they will be performing the testing, right? Let's say one application ID, the batch ID. Based on that, so under that batch ID is under ab initio RC file will be present. It's very critical, file. I'll tell you.
When I say 3 servers, I mean like on the Linux, AX, and Solaris in our example.
Exactly, right. Okay. So
okay,
yeah, okay. So second thing and the third thing, one is the are you getting me that what are the advantages of operating system, which are the first thing and the final not the last I'll tell you what the another advantage of the operating system is the all the business rules that you are writing in this component. These are the business rules that you are writing in each component. Okay, those business rules are executed. There is a concept called the transformation component. There is an engine, the transformation engine. Okay, there is a transformation engine. Transformation. Sorry, this is okay. All the business logic that you have written in a component, everything will be taken care by an engine called the transformation engine. What it does basically, the transformation engine, all the business rules, it will be executed, and it is so optimized that it has this engine. This engine has a it has a compiler. Okay, it has a compiler just in time compiler just in time. It has a compiler called just in time compiler. So what it does basically, it will execute the business logic and the business rules or any whatever the business rules that you have applied in the components at the last moment. When I said last moment, as you know that each component is connected with others via a wire. Suppose you have written the business switch here. The data will go to here. It will not execute it before that. It runs at the last moment. So it will take very less time. That is called the just-in-time compiler. It will, whenever all the information is available, then only be executed. Okay. Sorry. That is called the just-in-time compiler. It executes only when all the information is available. Sorry. And this makes a, but it is so optimized. Okay, it is internal thing, you cannot view the data, it is only coming in the architecture. It is so optimized that no traditional, technologies cannot achieve it. That is the one of the biggest thing that why the business rules runs faster in Initio. And third, okay, and one more, okay, are you getting me guys? What is the transformation rule and just-in-time compiler?
No, not actually.
So
it will wait for the entire data to
yes, it will
component on.
Yeah, it is just a internal thing only. You don't, I mean, what happens like everything. So there is an engine that is called the transformation engine. Whenever any business rules you are defining in your component, those are executed by this engine. And this engine is a part of the operating system.
Okay.
And this compiler is this done. When I say it is a non, technical things, but there is a technical thing just in type compiler. Okay, so there is a compiler which executes, which runs everything in this, whatever the business rule that is applied in a business rule, that will be executed, compiled, first compiled, executed by this compiler only. So it is so optimized, I mean, it is it's beyond my scope, but it is so optimized. I mean, just to tell you what are the things that makes a business so very different. So that's the reason. So it is a compiler basically. We just have to know that how it is optimized. I don't know. Okay. So
it might be compiling only once, right? Or does it compile it?
Only compile once during the runtime.
So every time it runs, does it compile?
Yeah, it compiles every time. So type of the rules that you change, it will definitely compile that. Before that, so what happens like whenever you are running any C code, right? It compiles. You have to compile it before execution, right?
Yep.
But here there is nothing like that. Okay, it's just it will get executed during the runtime only.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how it is, why it's so faster. And the third thing is the most easiest thing that it provides you graphically things to define the things graphically. Okay, so I don't know whether the sheet that I said, whether that contains it or not. Okay, so don't have anything. So it's not there. Okay, so I'll just wait for tomorrow. Then I'll show you that how you are writing the business code. There is a way to define everything in a graphics, in a graphical level. It is so easy to write the code. Unfortunately, my GDs are working. Otherwise, I would have shown you how easy how simple it is to define the code at a graphical level. You just have to drag and drop the connect the port, everything will be defined. Just up to 2 lines of code you have to write. The code is very, very minimal. Until unless you are writing a mission critical architecture or application, that is very, very minimal. That code is very, very minimal. Okay. I'll show you that what are the real-time coding that we are doing and that's all. Okay. I just have to wait till tomorrow. Okay. Then I'll show you that. I mean, that is the one of the advantage of the cooperating system, that you have to define the business rules, everything, whether it is a BRE or it's a GD, okay, any component that you are going to use, it has it has an option to define the code graphically. It has two parts. One is text B, uh, one is the GD. I mean, there is two parts. You can write the code. If you are allowed to write the code, you can write it. Else, you just have to drag and drop. And everything, if you just have to convert it automatically, the code gets converted into uh, that particular things. I'm not able to remember that one, so I'll tell you. So these are the advantages why what is the cooperation that it contains, and I'll tell you the if you have time, then I can start the architecture based on your availability. Okay, so that is why ab initio means from the beginning. What do you mean by beginning? So it's Latin word basically. What? So when I said that these are the things, the just in compiler, it is the shared nothing architecture, it is done in multiple servers. This cannot be done in overnight, or it cannot be done once the architecture is done, right? You just have to define everything before defining the architecture. That's the why the ab initio has a best suited name, that is from the beginning. You have decided, you have built that architecture keeping in mind that it can talk to any legacy system. It can talk to web services. It can talk to SaaS. It can run multiple servers. It can run in multiple CPUs. It will process data in multiple CPUs. It has a state compiler timing, shared nothing architecture, multiple servers. It is all things can be done only when it is started only built applications from the beginning itself, considering all the scenarios and all the scenarios. That's the reason why ab initio is called as from the beginning is the best suit name that they have. Everything is designed at the beginning itself. One operating system is managing everything, all the products that it has. Okay. Okay. So currently, it is not only, as I told you, it is not only used in data warehousing. It has wide many applications, right? So it is used in operational system. It is used in distributed system. It is used for event processing. When is an event processing? It is just read XML file, read soap REST, or send a certificate to read the messages or to suite messages. So these are the things. What are the advantages? Focus the better productivity. The performance is high. Okay.
So can we use it to read real-time data like from web services, message queue?
Do you know why it is from the beginning the
Yeah,
word
this
is
part we were there, yeah, from the beginning.
okay. Uh, Nothing much actually. So just what are the key features of ab initio? So it is trying to tell you that in the data migration, it is used to moving the data from one server to another server. In my current project, we are migrating. Okay, these are two
Okay.
data migration. So that is widely used. And second is scalable solution. So scalable solution means whenever the data increases and you have the complex critical, complex logic that you have applied, no matter it will not trade off with it will not compromise with performance. So no matter how many complex logic that you have, how massive data you are reading. But in real time, if you see the Initio, then it will not compromise in the performance. Okay. Suppose tomorrow you are using the 4-way multi-file system, and you feel like, okay, how it was behaving 2 years before with the same configuration, it is not now behaving the same way. The performance has degraded somewhat. So what I have to do is you have to create the 8-way multi-file system. You have to upgrade it from the 4-way to the 8-way multi-file system, and just a configuration change is required. Okay, to create a 8-way multi-file system. Once the 8-way multi-file system is created and the CPUs are added more, then the CPU, then you will get the same performance and a better performance what you were getting earlier. Okay, and obviously it will be a better productivity. So whenever everything the data will complete on time and data will be loaded on time, obviously the business users will be very happy in the running the report. So that is why the better productivity mentioned here. So as I told you, it is not only data warehouse. Initio has an implementation. It has a presence all over, multiple domains, like multiple things. It is into operational system. It is batch processing. Okay, it's real-time applications. It is data movement that I told you, data transformation. So, okay, so these are areas where the Initio, is used for their mission critical applications. Okay.
Yeah.
And yes, so there is no, there is no dependency on the CPUs and the single CPUs or multi CPUs. It can run with single CPUs, it can run with multi CPUs as well. So one standalone machine can have a single CPU or can have a multiple CPUs. So one single CPU, one single machine or standalone machine can run it. Or suppose you are working in a network of systems and you are connected with multiple servers, and Initio also works in multiple CPUs there. As I told you sometime before that one is running in one server, another is running another server. So that is called the network of multi-CPU nodes. So it is not dependent on the servers or CPUs. It is independent of servers and the CPUs. How many CPUs that have. So it will manage to run according to its features available. So example of multi-file system. Okay. So these are the file system, one CPU, right? So I have to file further, then to mention that actually here. That's what it is. I'll tell you tomorrow. Processing application, yeah. Distribution, they come nothing much better. So processing just about to form any volume of data, parallel sort, merge processing, data transformation, rehosting of corporate data, parallel execution of the existing application that we covered, and nothing much you have to discuss it here. Okay. So yes, the front end of data warehouse, back end of data warehouse. We always use, never use the front end part. We always use the back end part of the data warehousing. We are pulling the data from the different sources, loading them into, we are creating a data warehouse in our system. Okay, and we do have more than 50 entities. So it's just pulling the data. It just depends upon your applications that whether you have to build the data, you have to build that data warehouse based on the files or based on someone, it can be a combination of real time pulling the data from some data you are taking from the different third party like Bloomberg or somebody, or there is a credit card scoring team, or there you also can get the data. It is all about that how they are processing the data and bringing into standard format and storing them into data warehouse to create the data marts. Okay, I'll tell you that. I mean, I'll not skip that part as well. I'll cover that data warehousing concept as well to give you some background idea. I'll touch upon all the areas of data warehouse. 1 or 2 sessions I'll take on the data warehouse, so don't worry about it. So coming to the architecture basically, okay. This is the simple diagram of block diagram of ab initio architecture. So first thing is you have to install the native operating system, whether Windows, Unix, or mainframe system. It can be Linux. So based on that, so where you will get this cooperating system? Basically, in the real time, what will happen? There will be a person. It can be administrative, someone from the administration team who will be dealing with the Ab initio corporation team. Whenever there is a version change, they will provide you the link, because they can provide you the size of that file is huge, okay, and they cannot provide you that file over the email. So what they will do, they will provide you a link, and from that link, the authorized person, they'll if you have a credential, it will ask you for credential. Once you ID pass the ID and a valid password, then you have to download that link to your local system, okay, and you don't have to install anything, okay. That is currently you just have to point the cooperating system to the new location, okay. You just have to point. So whatever you have to create a soft link basically, okay. The soft link, I'll tell you what is a soft link in Unix. So it was earlier pointing to the old cooperating system. Now we have downloaded the new operating system. So all you have to do is to use this new cooperating system, you have to point this old link to the new link, okay. Everything will be taken care of. And the component library, as I told you, it has extensive set of components in the cooperating system. It has transform component. So component, when I say the component, you will see what is that graph. I'm very sorry that I could not show you that real-time components just because I have my GD stopped working today. So you can see that aggregate component, the reformat component, join component that we have. These are all present in a cooperating system, okay. That is why it is has a library containing all the components. It has a library containing all the components. So when I use a defined component, actually before 3.2, I don't know whether it is there in 3.2 or not. In 2.25, there was a graph. Okay, they were providing the flexibility to the user to define their own component. Okay, but right now I don't know whether you can define using the own component or not. But earlier they were giving that flexibility and the autonomy to that users, that you can build your own component according. Suppose you are a very hardcore developer in C, C++ or Java, then you can build any component according to your customized component. You can create it and store it here. That is why it is called as the user-defined component. The third-party component, basically, as I told you, the components such as SaaS, such as Salesforce, such as SAP component. Those are called the third-party component. Those cannot be installed. The company to provide to read the spreadsheet, or to write the data into spreadsheet and to read the data into from the Excel sheet. Okay, so they have created another folder that is called the third party folder. Under that folder you can see all the software component, SAP or Salesforce component, or it is just Excel component, it is SAP component. You can get all those components under the third party component. Okay, as I told you, what is EME? The enterprise metadata environment. So what is happening? So EME, it maintains, it is not only maintains the version control, so versioning of the all the codes, okay. It also helps the user, it helps also helps the business people. It also helps the management in identifying easier way that where we are going wrong, how the data is getting derived, and it also helps the administrative team to migrate the code from one EME to the another EME to the production EME as well. Okay, it helps everyone in the organization who are associated in that Ab initio project. Okay, it is not only limited to the version controlling, it does beyond many things. Okay, and while I'll cover the real time now, then I'll show you that how EME is enabled and how to create a tag, how to create a save file, to migrate the code, how the package is being created. Okay, that I'll tell you. But since I have lack of web EME, I could not show you that part. But I'll show you how the tags are getting created, how to create a package, how the movement can be done from one EME to the another EME. And as I told you, what is GDE? Graphical Development Environment. This is the client basically. It is the client where it allows the user to develop the graphs, okay, and to maintain, to enhance the graphs, okay, and it has and one more thing, what is the best advantage, another advantage of Abinisu is you can store the graphs in two formats, okay. One is .mp, the graph, the extension of that graphs is .mp, the extension, and by default it stores everything into the KSH. It has, it stores the data into two format. One is .mp, another by default the Abhinesh will take care of that part, that is called the Unix format. The extension aware of .ksh file?
Yes.
Yes.
So can we edit that .ksh file if we want to make any changes?
No, you cannot make any changes in the .ksh file, but you can independently run it. Yeah.
Okay.
Until unless you are that much of uh, you can say invincible in that coding style, it is too hardly you get a chance to edit that .ksh file. There are, I heard that there are certain people can write that things, but it will be messed up then. It is advisable not to not to edit that file.
Okay.
But it is a simple thing. If you have a lack of access due to, as you know that to get a GD access, it requires a key. The requires of to get a key, it is very costly, right? So some people, what they do, they can run. So in a team, they hardly give 5 people. Suppose it is not important application, so they give in a team let the 10 people, and they give the access to the 5GT to the 5 people, and the rest of the people will work in a support, and they will run that KSH, and they don't want to run the MP. And there are different ways. Suppose you to run KSH, it is not required to have access to GDE, not even license keys, okay. As long as you have access to that particular server in Unix server or Linux server, you can run that graph, or you can run that process, okay. So I'll tell you elaborately, I'll describe you how it is does and what is KSH, how it can be run without having license, everything, okay. So what is the user application? Basically the graphs are nothing but the graphs user applications. So application takes on the top of the architecture. So here you can build the graphs, you can combine, suppose you have in the GDE you have two graphs now, you can combine these two graphs using the conduct IT, okay. You can automate the process using this entire thing. It's a combination of everything. You can create your own user application which stays on the top of the architecture. Any question, any guys? Any guys? Please feel free. Any question you can ask. I mean, not hesitate to ask. Not any silly question also. I can answer it. Amit, are you getting me? You have any doubt, confusion, anything?
No.
Okay. Okay. So guys, you have the patience to cover more, or it's tomorrow onwards we'll go do some more practical. I mean, whatever the things that I told you, that I'll tell you tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay, unless
So
it's
one
actually.
question I have is like
Mhm.
I mean now I mean we are moving into that HDFS environment into
Mhm.
the big data world. So how is the compatibility for Initio? I mean,
Abinisu
like
provides actually component to read that SDFC file. But even though I have never used it, but it has two components in this latest version. Suppose you are using the version 3.1, okay, 3.2.0 and 3.1 and 3.2. In those versions, it provides two components: how to read the data from the Hadoop file system and how to write the data into the Hadoop file ecosystem. So those using those
okay.
components, yeah, you can read the data from the big data and write the data.
So, I mean, like likewise we have the NoSQL databases, right? Cassandra and
Okay,
so
then you have to,
so
yeah, I have to check that.
MongoDB. So okay. So
Yeah.
are there like drivers provided for that one to connect and to retrieve data into the like we have RDBMS databases?
No, you don't require any connector actually. You don't require any driver. You don't require. You just
Okay.
have to connect the component. What are the parameters you just have to pass? Let's say it requires a parameter called a server name sort of, and the file system details. You just have to pass that parameter. And ab initio, you don't really require any to access the Oracle. It requires the TNS, right? Everything will be
Mm.
taken care of. You just have to pass like that way. Not necessary that the Oracle should be installed locally, but wherever it is, you just have to, the path should be, that TNS number should be accessible to you. Okay. So likewise, like how do you access the Oracle? The TNS name should be there, and that should be accessible from that server to this server. The firewall should be open, right? So likewise, you just have to create the DBC file. To create a DBC file in Oracle, that requires a TNS, details, the server details of the Oracle. Once that is accessible from that server to the server where you are running the graph, then you can run it. But the driver is not required in ab initio. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Any question in ab initio that you feel like, okay, ab initio, why ab initio, why not another tool, or you still have doubts, confusion? Actually, this entire thing can be, the Informatica falls in a way, it cannot read the real-time data. When I say the real-time data, it cannot read the queues, it cannot read the messages, swift messages, it cannot read the legacy data, can it? So this is where it falls in. And coming to talent, the talent can achieve a lot of things. It create the code, everything
So
into
you are
Java.
saying Initio can't read real-time data
It
or
can read.
talent? Okay.
No, Informatica cannot read it. Tabinisu can read any data, any format of data. So these are the where Informatica, even though the cost is very less, the people prefer to go with Informatica. Why they are coming to Tabinisu? Because the features, and it's a very, the license cost is the most important thing, and the cost involved into get a one license key in Tabinisu cost you more. Okay, it cost you around maybe 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs or something per year, and every year they get some renewal cost as well. So that's the reason most of the rich client only can afford the cost of the Abiniso. Uh, so that's the reason whenever the application is very critical, and in that case only you can use those application into the Abiniso, and rest of the application can be run in Informatica, or the less important application can be run. So that's the reason. If you go to any banks, okay, you can see a one on a floor, actually one floor completely of ab initio. So they have very demanding tools is there, because no other tools can achieve this. They totally rely on the ab initio is the only lifeline for them. So guys, are you all good? I mean, did you get everything what I told you, that what are the basic difference between what are the architecture, what is the cooperating system. Any doubt in that? Actually, any product, you may have that what it each
So
product
you will be teaching us on the latest version, right? The 3.4 or
3.2.
the what?
It is most latest version that we have. We have the
Okay.
latest version that Abhinish has provided, that GDE 3 months back.
Nice.
That is the most latest version. I mean, you cannot get any latest version beyond this.
So what is it? 3.7?
No, 3.2.5
Okay.
is the latest version of Initio.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Any question you may have? I mean, you all got right. So, if anything, anyways, if you missed something, then definitely I'll cover it up in the detail level. While I'll cover it in the detail, will go in detail. So I'll cover each and everything, how much it is possible. I don't have access to this. I don't have access to this. First, rest of the things that I do have access. Okay, so I'll tell you how it can be connected to each things, how this can be integrated, how the graphs can be integrated, multiple graphs can be integrated, how it can be scheduled. Okay, and in EME,
Continuous flows is the real-time thing?
it is real time, and yes, it's real time. It requires messages to be read and
Okay.
things.
And what is BRE?
So BR actually business rules environment. Okay, so as I told you that it contains everything. This EME. Okay, so what the business people will do, it's specifically built for the business people to do some R&D. So whenever they are want to generate some report, and they
Okay.
cannot they can apply their own business rules in the EME. Okay, that is in EME there are two ways. You can access the EME from the backend. There is another way to access the that is called the web EME. On the web you can see it. So these people, it gives you access to access the EME. Okay, whatever the data that they have, they can apply certain rules and see the output. Okay, if I apply this rule, what will be the output? There will be any significant difference in the, what will my customers data, what will my sales data, what will the impact on it, what will be my market impact. They can get everything using the BRE, and the people, hardly the developer have access to this. It is only the business people in your organization, okay, can access it. It is all graphical because they have provided this graphical because the business people don't have any technical knowledge. So it is a completely graphical things, and these business people apply some business logic and they get the output. Okay, if I go for this business logic, then I will get the 100% output or 100% sales. Or so how will be my target,
Like
like this.
forecasting tool.
Yeah, kind of for them only. It's not for developer. It is for the BRE, for the
And
analyst
I
and
think
the.
we also have metadata management tool, right, in Initio.
Yes, we have. The thing is, whatever that I have, so it is only can access. I have the data profiler tool, but I don't have access yet. Okay, so it has only access to the people in my organized analyst people. Okay, so I don't have access to it, but I have access to EME, but not the web EME. I just have access to the migrate the code and all, like how to create a branch and all. So these are things that I have. Okay, you can see conduct ID and the GD. This is called the GD basically. When you click on it, it will open a client. Somehow it has been corrupted I mean, tonight it was working fine. In the morning it got corrupted. So don't know what happened. So I have to get it fixed today. Okay, this is the version that we are using, 3.2, and it's old version. Okay, I will issue. And this is the key administration. How to install a key for things. So you can get it using Initio key server. So Initio key server specifically built to maintain the key. Without key, you can open this GDE. Okay. So for each and every user, they provide a key. With a valid key only, one can access GDE. And this is called the EME, where the tags are checked in, codes are checked in. You can get a view of it. Okay. So that's it. And it's operational console, so I don't have access to the operational console where like in the operational console, you can see the data. I mean, see the jobs, how they are running, which jobs have got failed, what are the jobs are scheduled to run. They are, you can see it is a front end basically, and I don't have access to front end, so because of some security issue. Okay, so these are things that I have. So whatever that I have, I'll take you through all things on real time.
Can you tell us a high-level plan of what you are planning to?
Yeah, definitely. So I sent it across. Okay, so I'll cover this. The cooperating system CD. I'll cover this three part, which is coming under the basic ab initio. So it's coming under the advanced ab initio. Architecture, how the deployment process is running, and I'll tell you that when you run a graph in backend, how the process is running, how the process is getting created, how the multi-file system is getting created, how the agent process, what is the master process, nothing but the launcher process. This is the launcher process. How the launcher process is, creating the agent process. How the agent process is creating the component process. So how the communication between these two. So I'll start it from tomorrow. I mean, suppose you run a graph. How you suppose you run a graph in GD, that is the front end. How it is in the back end, how the code is running. It's all about how it is running. I'll tell you details tomorrow. Okay. And second thing is what is the DML, what is the data manipulation language, what is the input file component, what is the output file component, the lookup file component. Okay, how to write XFR, function statements, what is the local variables, what is the global variables, how to make use of the global variables and the local variables. Okay, these are all the transformation component that we have, filter by expression, deduct, sorted, reformat. These are all the transformation component that we have. So we'll cover each and everything. So this is the denormalized sorted. This is outdated one. This is deprecated. But instead we have the roll-up component. You can achieve this using this component using there is a function using that function, and you can achieve this. This is a deprecated component, so nobody used. Okay. These are all the partitioning component, as I told you. The partition by key, partition by expression, what basis you can use this one, partition expression, partition by percentage. Based on this, you can split the data across all the partition. You have multi-file system 4-way. How to split the data? One simple cell file of 4 data to the each. Splitting the data can be done using this component. You can split the data across all the partition. So these are, I'll cover it, multi-files, multi-departitioning component also. These are all the departitioning component. These are partitioning component, and what is the reverse of it? These are the departitioning component. We'll cover it. What is the working database? I'll deal with the Oracle. I'll tell you that what is the input table was, or how does the output table works. What is the run SQL, truncate table, update table, and the join table. Okay, and these are all miscellaneous component. I'll tell you what each component does in the run program that they provide. You can run the SQL. Sorry, you can run the run program. You can run the Perl script. You can run the SAS script. You can run the any script like shell script, Perl script, Python, anything. You can run it. Okay, that is called the run program. Replicate. I'll tell you each and everything. There is a ITP and the check order, validate record, how to validate the records. So starting will cover, and enterprise metadata environment. I'll tell you how to create a tag, how to check in the code, how to check out the code, how to log the, how the data is getting integrated, how the data integrity is maintained in ab initio. I'll tell you that. And checking in page checkpoint, paging, and checkpointing. How the as I told you or sometime back that suppose you want to run a graph at particular from the point it has failed last time. You don't want to resume that process from that process, that process only from that phase. Then you can use the checkpointing. Okay, so I'll tell you that these are the things that I have planned to cover. And apart from that, I have data warehousing. Suppose you like to have it, I'll cover this, basic of data warehouse concept. Okay, so what is data? What is warehouse? What is the mart? What is the personal data bus? What is the dependent data mart? What is independent data mart? What is modeling? What is the star schema? What is the how the three-way multi-file system? How the multi-file, not multi-file, multi-dimensional, multi-dimension helping the users to access the data and getting the faster decision. Okay, how do they take fast decision? It is the modeling. We have three modeling concept. One is snowflake, one is star schema, one is constellar. Yeah, but we don't have it here, so I don't think it is there. Okay, just paste it. I'll get to that as well. So it is saying how you are accessing the data in the data warehouse, how you are going in the three-way multi-file system. It's not a three-dimensional system. Okay, one is my product, how it is different from the traditional ER diagram. Okay, how multi-dimensional data how we are getting it using this whole app, and you can see it here. So it is just a graphical view of how the data is independent. You can access this data from all the perspective. Okay, suppose you want to. So these are all the things that I have planned. So it covers. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you guys for attending this session. Thanks a lot.